Charlie Cale from Poker Face benefits greatly from Leon's talent and is obviously written around her. Charlie has a laid-back affability. Except for the fact that she has a superhuman capacity for deception detection and a propensity for making friends with everyone she encounters, we know very little about her. Despite all the alluring crime-solving things she finds herself in during Season 1, you can't help but cheer for her. The conclusion of Sterling Frost Sr.'s attempts to apprehend Charlie Cale for killing his son Sterling Frost Jr. is the focus of the 10th and final episode of Peacock's thriller series Poker Face, titled The Hook. Cliff Legrand eventually succeeds in capturing the human lie detector after a nearly year-long search. The startling murder of Sterling Sr. occurs after he changes his mind about killing her and orders his right-hand man to transport her to Atlantic City, New Jersey. Charlie finally solves the crime in episode 10 of the season and faces its repercussions. Major spoilers ahead if you have not watched the Season 1 final episode yet. Cliff is looking for Charlie when episode opens. When he inquires about the size of Charlie's grave, Sterling Frost Sr. replies that he should bring the human lie detector to him. At Hasp, a casino run by Beatrix Hasp's family, Charlie and Sterling Sr. first meet. When Charlie found her friend dead, Sterling Sr. told her that he didn't want to kill her and even acknowledged what she had to do. The businessman wants her at a high-profile gathering that will include him, the Hasps, and the other members of the Five Families, a criminal organization, rather than killing her. Charlie is offered money and freedom in exchange for exposing lies for Sterling Sr. during the discussion. He also presents her a gift box, which she opens to discover a gun inside. Cliff murders his employer as the casino's lights are being turned out. Cliff gives the locals the order to find Charlie after she flees the scene after being shocked and killing the businessman. He uses the opportunity to switch out the pistol Charlie set down on the table for the murder weapon, which bears her prints. Agent Luca Clark of the FBI responds to Charlie's call for assistance by telling her that the proof they have gathered is against her. Charlie visits her house in Atlantic City where she encounters Emily Cale's daughter, as well as her sister. Charlie must crawl to get to the basement of the home because police officers are encircling it. However, her sister is not waiting for her there. Especially in light of what Charlie had done to the family, Emily makes it abundantly obvious that she doesn't want Charlie to re-enter her life or the life of her daughter. Charlie makes an effort to make amends with her sister, but Emily won't budge from her choice. She then leaves the house and eventually finds her family's boat at a pier, where she inspects it but discovers it is broken. Charlie contacts Luca to see if there is a way out when she discovers she is being set up for the murder of Sterling Sr. Charlie decides to leave the area and selects waterways as the preferred mode of transportation after learning from Luca that it will be very difficult for her to escape. However, she soon discovers that her family's boat is not operable. She reaches out to Cliff because she has no other choice, and he welcomes her to his boat so he can give her over to the police. Charlie meets Cliff earlier than he anticipated because she is already at the wharf, giving her enough time to talk to the murderer. Since they were both close to the businessman when he was killed, Charlie originally believes Cliff is also being falsely accused of his murder, so she joins forces with him to establish their mutual innocence. Cliff becomes very cautious when responding to Charlie's inquiries because he is aware of her ability to spot falsehoods. Despite traveling across the nation, Charlie is able to solve murders thanks to her ability to discern the lies that the perpetrators told while they were unaware that the person in front of them was a human lie detector. Cliff is aware of this, so Charlie's efforts to use her skills to solve the crime fall short. In Cliff's luggage, Charlie inadvertently discovers a set of poker chips that are the exact same ones the assailant used to identify Sterling Sr. in the dark. She makes the connection and discovers that the tycoon was actually murdered by his own right-hand man. Charlie's understanding, however, proves insufficient for her to flee from the law. In the meantime, Luca offers Charlie assistance in exchange for finding Benner killers. Gabriel's using the cassette recording Sterling Sr. plays before he dies, which contains Sterling Jr.'s admission that Cliff killed Charlie's best friend and her boyfriend. The FBI agent apprehends Cliff for the killings of Natalie and Jerry. Cliff discloses his agreement with Beatrix Haas, who hired him to murder Sterling Sr. after being apprehended by Luca. Cliff doesn't think twice to blame Beatrix because he cannot appreciate what he has gained by killing his employer. Cliff's information about Beatrix helps to solve the crime, freeing Charlie. By solving Sterling Sr.'s murder, Charlie escapes the law, but she does so by turning Beatrix Haas, one of the powerful figures in a formidable criminal syndicate, against her. Beatrix vows to kill Charlie over the phone for leading the FBI away from the five families and towards the Hasts. Beatrix doesn't want to immediately murder her, though. If Charlie serves as the former's personal lie detector, she promises Charlie she will let her survive. Charlie ends the call and throws her cell phone away after the businesswoman makes it obvious that her offer is only good for the duration of their conversation. Charlie is anticipated to continue her cross-country trek in order to avoid Beatrix Hasp's surveillance. She might also carry on using fictitious names to make a living in remote areas of the nation. Charlie may have understood that Beatrix isn't Sterling Sr., who depended on Cliff to be his one-man search team, though. Charlie must be expecting Beatrix to dispatch more men and use more sophisticated tools to locate her. Beatrix may have connections across the nation to locate Charlie, because she is a well-known businesswoman and a part of the criminal underworld. If that's the case, the human lie detector might even think about emigrating to another country, where Beatrix might not have as many tools at her command to track her down. To force Charlie to go back to Atlantic City, Beatrix might harm Emily, Charlie's sister and Emily's daughter. Charlie might not want to intrude on Emily and her daughter's lives because she may have troubled her sister's family enough already. If Beatrix exploits Charlie's affection for her sister, she might be able to capture her objective sooner rather than later. Therefore, Emily and her daughter's security may be necessary for Charlie's existence as well. Even if Beatrix manages to capture Charlie, it's doubtful that she will immediately execute her intended victim. Before even considering killing Charlie, Beatrix might attempt to make use of her ability to spot lies. Cliff kills Sterling Frost Sr. after being paid to do so by Beatrix Haas, who wants the businessman dead to get rid of her rival. Beatrix might not want the casinos and motels owned by Sterling Sr. to compete with the Haas's businesses. In addition, Beatrix might have desired a prominent position and a voice within the five families, a criminal organization. She must have seen Sterling Sr. as a barrier to her success in the gang, which may be why she hired Cliff. Cliff, on the other hand, takes Beatrix's offer because of his own animosity towards his master. Cliff is expected to remain with his boss and manage the businessman's establishments as Sterling Sr.'s right-hand man. Instead, he is made to make a cross-country hunt for a woman, sleeping in motels and eating deplorable fare. Cliff disapproves of what his boss is doing. Beatrix calls him at that point with a proposal. Cliff takes the job and kills his master because he feels respected by the businesswoman because she believes he is strong enough to defeat someone like Sterling Sr. Guess what these mafia groups want most, or rather who? Charlie. Beatrix calls her in the final seconds of the show in a manner reminiscent of Sterling's call to her in Episode 1. She invites her to use her circus freak lie detector thing on the Hasts. Beatrix presumably prepares to send her own minion after Charlie, but Charlie declines and drives off into the distance, or to whatever city and murder case calls next. We'll have to wait a while before learning about Charlie's upcoming exploits.